Okay, let's see. We'll. Okay, we're live. Alright, so before we continue this quest, actually, I'm going to do this. Wait. Right. Okay. Here. Smell. Welcome to the stream. I don't know what I said, but that sounds like pretty good. Okay, so before we do that, let me turn up the audios. Boom. Not again this time. Can I just skip over? On.
We meet again.
Huh?
That's what we wanted to ask you. There's no need for us to continue this project if you—
Believe me, I didn't have any bad intentions. All right.
A library? I've heard that the academia will be looking to prioritize the desert with the
You're right. The desert is too vast. And what's more, all I know is that as a desert dweller, I don't have much longer left on this world. I didn't want you to know that I came from the desert.
To the point that you even disguised your identity?
When I first came to Sumerus, someone agreed to take on the project, and even took a sum of mora from me, but then disappeared without a trace. After that, I spent a while collecting information in this. By the way, how did you know I was scammed?
Just a hunch. I ran into someone who was living in a pretty run-down house. He said that he had no way to pay for it, and after that, he even, according to him—
Those kinds of things do happen every once in a while.
It's all right. Ultimately, neither of our experiences had anything to do with the desert or the rainforest. Yeah, you'll find both good and bad people everywhere. Anyway,
That's what I was afraid of initially. Yes, I've done the math. So, I decided to try and see if I can afford your proposal as is.
By cobbled together,
To be honest, I haven't really thought about that. All I want is to build this library. A while ago, I heard that the academia had decided to recruit a number of exceptional children from the desert. I know the desert life and can predict what the problems will be. So even if the academia would take them in—
Yes. My father passed away at an early age. I'm sure a child coming all the way from the desert will have an even harder time. But let's bring this back to the building itself. Building it according to the current plan will be quite costly. A slightly different style. Most architects would probably prioritize cutting costs and removing extra features in this situation. Indeed, converting the building into a simple bungalow would solve most of our problems. While it's true that the aesthetic value of a building is often viewed as an afterthought, neglecting it has some long-term negative consequences. To completely give up on the more aesthetic design would mean stripping the children of an opportunity to appreciate the beauty of architecture. However, if we can reduce the ornate aspects of the design while maintaining its fundamental elegance, to make up for the loss of regular details, we would need to put a lot of extra effort into the layout, lines, and color.
I see. Would that really be okay?
It just increases the difficulty of the design. You should feel lucky that out of all the architects in the city, you chose to approach me. Most of the others would have given up on this project by now. As for inspiration, I think I might have something in mind, but I'd need to visit the site to make sure.
Aru Village.
Okay, then we can pay a visit to Aru Village.
Is there something I can do for you? I've already caused you a lot of trouble before, and now you're revising the design again because of me.
Let me think. You said you used to be an Eremite mercenary, right? In that case, you could help us clear out some monsters that are blocking the way to Aru Village. We want to keep the roads clear, and reduce the loss of materials during transport to a minimum.
All right, just leave it to me.
What are you waiting for then? Let's pack up and get ready to go.
Alright, so that's a better solution than getting a sponsor. Alright, let's go to our village. And this is there. I know it should be there. Okay. Oh. Wait. This is a different quest, is it? Oh no, what did I do? No, I don't want here for you. Oh, come on, Genshin, why do you always do this? It's annoying! Like every time I try to do this quest, the other quest is also the same place, which triggered this quest, and then the other just... Genshin, please, stop this. At least give it an option. I didn't know we have this quest. What is this quest anyway? Alright. Curious? This is not a side quest that would took hours to finish. Oh, you... Oh. I'll not do that. Oh, wait a second, there's a chest.
Is this an answer from this world?
Alright, let's keep doing Kaveh, and then we do the others, and then we speedrun the, whatever quest we're having, so I don't have to deal with it later.
Most materials going from Caravan Ribat to Aru Village would pass. There are a lot of monsters out here today. If you find it hard to keep up, just let us know.
Oh, don't worry about me. This is nothing.
Scanning.
Let's dance.
Sight clear.
I'm fine. But it's one thing to fight against monsters, and another to fight against an old injury. I don't think much of it back then, but few mercenaries get to enjoy their later years.
Is there someone you know who can help to look after you?
Unfortunately, no. Sometimes I'd close my eyes and realize most of my life story has already been written. I have many regrets about my past, but at the same time, I also know that there were never many options for me in the first place. I joined the Eremites when I was young, and won many battles with them. My survival was more a matter of luck than actual ability. If at all possible, I want future children of the desert to have some more options in life. My apologies.
I think it's really admirable of him to spend his whole life savings on people he's never met. Maybe he's doing this out of natural kindness. A kindness that hasn't been eroded away by the struggles of his life. Perhaps. To clarify, though, I don't think I'm quite the same. Some people call me an idealist. I do have some sentiments of that general persuasion, such as wanting everyone to be able to lead a happy life. But my situation is more complex than that. When I was young, I impulsively encouraged my father to take part in the first Inter-Darshan Championship. He set off confidently hoping to win something for me, but failed to clinch the title. I never saw him again. I started doing many things in life because I wanted to make amends. At this point, I've tried self-reflection, but it didn't help. Maybe it's just like what those Vahumana scholars often say. I could be doing things out of endless guilt, or I could be doing them out of a strong sense of empathy. It could even just be a matter of conceit. Anyway, I suppose I don't really mind being called an idealist. I've known Al-Haytham for many years now, and discussed my ideology with him for nearly as long. He told me a long time ago that no matter how strong of a swimmer you may be, you'll still get dragged under by the others who are drowning once you run out of stamina. I still believe I should live by my ideals, and I've given him countless reasons why I think it's a good idea to do so. Unfortunately, he remains unconvinced. But as you can see, I'm not the only idealist in the world, and when I finally run out of stamina, someone will also reach out and bring me back to shore. Someone will help me, right? But you've helped me plenty already. If you didn't reach out to me, I would probably be passed out on the tavern table right now instead of talking with Badawi. Either way, I'm feeling much better than when you first found me at the tavern. All right, let's head to Aru Village.
Poor guy. Always. No! Not yet, pal. Chill out. I would do you. However, Genshin decided. So I was about to finish this, you know, all 5 hangout, and then today this, and then the event. And then somehow Genshin make this stupid new quest. And then I accidentally opened it by accident. So flip guitars. Why don't they make an option where if there's a new quest, they will let us like, do you want to do it or not? What's the point? I'm not gonna read the whole quest anyway. I'm just gonna take it for Primogem. That's why I'm skipping all of this.
Now that we're here, it's my partner's time to shine.
Oh, what's...
My toolbox. I'll take Marak and find a suitable location for the building.
Traveler?
Ah, you know each other?
Hello. I suppose you must be Kaveh from Kasharawar.
Educational assistance programs. Then you must be familiar with the local conditions here.
I can't say I'm too familiar just yet.
I've been commissioned by Mr. Badawi to build a library in the desert.
A library?
That's right. I want to make sure the children will have books to read.
That's fantastic.
Let me get straight to my questions then. Oh, and have any landslides occurred here recently? All right. Badawi, let's go over the budget again. The parts of the project that cost the most will be the insulation and ventilation materials. I want to make significant changes to the arrangement of the bookshelves, tables, and chairs. Our final cost should be around 70% of the last figure I quoted. Marak has produced a sketch for all of you to see. If everyone's okay with it, then we'll proceed with that as the formal plan. The inspiration just came to me naturally. I must give you credit, though. If it weren't for your advice and suggestions, I probably wouldn't have landed on this new style so quickly. According to the traditions of my profession, I should probably name this style after you. Let's call it the Traveler style. In the meantime, let's look forward to the day when this building is completed and can finally open its doors.
August? Oh, wait, actually, Kaveh is actually a genius. I like that too, but it's so cool. Am I afraid? Not actually. I do want to duel you, but you see, I need to finish this before an exam. Because every time I always let my exam get over me, so... Like, after I finish my exam, it's either too late, because I remember I missed one event and that hurt so bad. I rewatched some of people play, it was very cool and I missed it, so it hurts. Secondly, maybe it will be like 2 hours left or 3 hours and I have to speed run, and sometimes I fail too. So when I finish everything first, then, you know, after we could duel, because dueling here is literally permanent. I didn't know. I thought the duel TCG here would be like an event, but then my teacher, well, let's say he also plays Genshin, he told me that it's permanent. So I was like, what? And then yeah.
This commission was truly the worst decision ever. Actually, while we're on that, what are you doing? Anyway, stress is just an inescapable part of being a working adult. Boss, do you want something too? I'll put it on my tab.
Wine in a glass of juice?
I know you're already keeping a secret from me. That guy, though. Another glass, please.
You've got it, sir.
It really is every other day, but perhaps getting used to... I would spend a lot of time altering my designs. I suppose, though, that just all of this makes for a real paradox.
Here's your drink.
Boss?
The meaning of art. Anyway, I don't know about art.
What do you think? No worries. It's been bothering me for a while. Sounds great to me. Huh? Where did that come from? I mean, it's not like it's some kind of secret. My mother is also an architect. I've always adored her drawings, and when I was young, I used to sit next to her and watch her bring all kinds of buildings to life on paper. Perhaps. In fact, I have also seen my mother argue with her clients. Unfortunately, I've barely had any contact with her since she remarried and moved abroad. I did remember something else, though. When my mother left, she only carried some small personal luggage with her. At the time, she even told me that it would be great if I could learn a few lessons from her life experiences. I hadn't quite come to grips with my emotions, and didn't really have it in me to go through any sentimental items. It's been a really long time. Sorry, I've had too much to drink and wasn't thinking clearly. Speaking of that, either way, thanks for reminding me that I can invite you to come along. Thinking too hard about the words is giving me a headache. If you want to stick around and see how this will turn out, you'll be sure to encounter some bits and pieces of my past. All right, then let's head back together. Who knew that the day would come when I too would have some friends over? Let me see. Anyway, there's no more time for drinks.
Oh, Kaveh house. My new team is destroying, especially early game-wise. Are you talking about like the normal team, or are you talking about the TCG team? Which team are you talking about? I'm confused. So yeah, I will try finish all these hangout. You know, doing others. Chicken barbecue sauce. The event quest, finish the event, and then if we have time, the next stream, like, okay, after I finish all the hangout, I'll end the stream, and you know, I'll start another stream with the event one, and after I finish the event, I'll stop and I'll stream the idiot quest here, you know, and then just speedrun. I'm just spamming click, you know. TCG team, Hu Tao, Chongyun Bennett. My current normal team is Hu Tao, Triple
All
Fry.
Heatham isn't in, so
Feel free to sit wherever. Oh, nothing. I just didn't realize how much time had passed. The box is pretty dusty, which means it's already been a while since I've moved into this place. I'm happy for her. I hope she'll be able to find happiness there. She raised me all by herself after my father passed away. It definitely wasn't easy for her.
Wait, his mother's in Fontaine? Oh, don't worry, Kaveh. We're coming to see your mother soon. Wait, that sounds sus. I will see your mother and convince her something, I guess, to help you, perhaps? Wait, that is cool. I mean, cool that we know where she is, not cool that the fact that she moved.
Anyway, enough about that. Let's see what I packed into this box. What are all these things? Oh, I remember now. This is a drawing I made in Port Ormos. Obviously, I wouldn't call it anything special now, but I was less than 5 years old when I made this drawing. Now that I've said that out loud, I suppose I do have some level of artistic talent, right? Criticism and self-doubt have always been a part of the artistic process. I admit that I may have spent a little too long questioning myself this time around. Anyway, never mind. My building blocks! It's been years since I've last seen these. When I was a kid, I used to stack them super high, and could even stabilize the tower to keep it from tumbling over. Oh, and this blueprint. I made it by copying my mother's sketch, and the aspect ratio was horrendous. I was super proud of myself when I finished it. Unfortunately, my mother didn't realize that I had put it there. When she had a meeting with a client the next day, she handed my blueprint to him by mistake. The client was completely confused by this new blueprint, but apparently he felt too tongue-tied to question such a famous... It was only a few days later that he finally gathered up the courage to pay my mother a visit. He asked, "The door in this blueprint is even taller than the roof." My mother took me with her to personally apologize to the client several times. She didn't scold me about it in private, though. Instead, she went over all the steps required to draw a good blueprint, and was very patient throughout the whole process. Let's see, is there anything else left in this box? Huh. What was this again? Ah, this is my mother's notebook. She used to write and sketch in it all the time. When I was a child, I used to be super fascinated by this notebook, and always pestered my mother to let me read it. After asking her a few times, she told me that I could read it as long as I could guess the password. Huh. Wonder why she didn't take this notebook with her. If only I could. I never managed to guess the password. Hey, it's not a matter of time, it's a matter of inspiration. Who knows? Maybe this time something will click in my head. I could tell what you were thinking. Don't worry, I tried all the easy guesses a long time ago. I've tried my name, my father's name, my mother's name, my grandparents' names on both sides, and all of our birthdays. I've tried every name and number remotely related to my family. I've even tried stuff like "Love you, Kaveh," "Take care," and "Yours truly." I've tried every cheesy phrase and well-wish in the book, but this lock has refused to budge. I wouldn't try that route again. I have a hunch that it won't be that simple. Also, if she really did use something like that, she'd never hear the end of it from the folks over at Haravatat if they ever found out. So we could find someone who was close to my mother and see if they might know anything? My mother was never really the one to be social. Let me think. Is there still someone at the academia who would know my mother? Ah, actually, there is someone. Professor Zaha Hadi. Huh, you've never really heard of her? She's a famous Kasharwar scholar and leading expert in formal garden design. Professor Zaha Hadi published many works during her career, so I was able to learn a lot by studying her essays. She's older now and is no longer teaching at the academia. Let's go take a look.
August? I don't know if anyone's still playing the TCG though. Does anyone still playing the TCG? Well, beside you and me. I remember when it first came out, everyone was, you know, talking about it. Me, when it first came out, I didn't have time, as I told you. So, yeah. A lot now? There's still a lot of people? Really?
What am I supposed to do now?
Tainari.
Oh, it's you. Good to finally see you again. I came into the city to buy some experiment reagents. But as soon as I got here, I noticed someone banging on Cyrus's door. I was thinking about going over to ask what's happening.
Granny?
Yeah, she's just over there.
I had a quick drink or two.
Drinking in broad daylight. Really? You want to pass out by the road and get run over by a sumpter beast like some mindless fungus? And you, traveler? You didn't try to stop him? You look like a wreck, Kaveh. You know what? I'm hosting a meal at Pardisti tomorrow evening.
Huh? Oh, I had no idea. Let me think for a moment.
All right. Then I'll plan on reserving 2 seats for you. I'll be heading back to Gandharvaville for now.
A granny who lives nearby.
Ha! So, plan on keeping yourself locked in there, huh? Fine by me. My tomato was growing so well.
I already told you I had nothing to do with it. You'd have to be awfully green as an investigator to think it was me.
Ugh.
You see, the word green here can refer to both the color of the tomato.
Enough nonsense!
You're out of your mind.
Oh, why you?
Professor Zahahadi?
And who are you? Oh, Kaveh. How long has it been?
Professor...
It's no big deal, really. Which brings us to our current predicament. Lucky for you. Come on, let's go.
Yes, of course.
Is Faranak still doing well?
Yes, as far as I know. She left for Fontaine some time ago and started a new life for herself.
Ah, yes.
No, not at all. She's already sacrificed a lot raising me as a single mother.
That's good to hear. Sometimes I wonder if things were harder for her because she was so beautiful. She was still quite young when she first joined my class as a student. She had to make a lot of drastic changes in her life to raise you on her own. Even during her time in the academia, she was a thorough perfectionist. She had many admirers, and they'd always fill up the first few rows of seats, hoping they could get closer to her sitting in the first row. But every time I saw her, she was always in that same rigid pose.
I'm sure she had many difficult moments in her life.
I'm not too sure. I do remember one time, though, when she got into a heated argument with a friend. She said, "True art cannot be understood, but as an artist, I wish some people could understand its meaning and value." If you ask me, that's probably the greatest source of pain for geniuses of their craft.
So that's how it is. I wonder if the password could be... I tried both just now.
What are you trying to do?
My mother left her notebook to me, but it has a password and I haven't figured out what it is yet. I'm trying to learn more about her so I'd have a better chance at cracking the code. Thank you for all that you told us.
It's the least I can do. Your personalities are quite alike, too. You're both stubborn and both a little awkward. I've taught a lot of students over my career, and in my experience, very few genius architects of Ksharawar ever found happiness for themselves. They would know exactly what they want to express and fight for it tooth and nail. Some clients would choose to respect the architect's vision or just let the argument go because of the architect's reputation. When Faranak first graduated, she was getting into arguments with her clients nearly every single day.
I see.
No, I think they were probably beyond him, too. Faranak had many admirers, but she ended up choosing your father.
So instead of understanding, perhaps all we need is just companionship. Huh. It worked.
Oh, was that the right password?
Yes!
Then you should be on your way, child. Being the awkward person that she is, I suppose there were many things that Faranek could never say out loud. If you're ever in a mood to chat again, just come and find me here. You're always welcome to discuss architecture topics with me as well.
Thank you so much, Professor.
There's no need to be so formal.
I wonder what my mother could have written about.
They all say Zaha Hadid's class is the toughest, but I think it's actually not too bad. On the other hand, though, structural mechanics is definitely a pain, no matter how you try to approach it. I doubled down and managed to get through it in the end. I met someone special. At first, I didn't think much of him, but now, I feel very happy whenever I get to spend time with him. We decided to name our son Kaveh. I don't think a younger me would have ever imagined forming such an intimate bond with another person. Back then, I lived only in the shadow of myself, as well as that of the dream in my heart. The bad news came. And even though it's been several days now, I still can't bring myself to come to terms with what happened. My eyes are so swollen, it's hard to see. What if they're all lying to me? And this is just a long, cruel dream. But I have to face reality. I still have someone to take care of. No matter what happens, I'll do my best to raise my son on my own.
Huh? Is this a drawing? Seems like it was done by my mother. This blonde man was probably my father. But who are the other people in the picture? Huh? Why do a few of them look somewhat familiar? From the dates in the notebook, she probably drew this more than 30 years ago.
Who invited us to the gathering is a talkative woman. Including us, 3 couples showed up. There was also a person who came alone. The talkative woman introduced everyone to each other. She spoke really quickly, so I couldn't quite catch everything she said. But I also didn't feel like asking her to repeat herself. My husband seems to be friends with the man with long ears. I couldn't really join their conversation, so I've resigned myself to sitting in a corner and drawing in my notebook. I don't think I'd be able to become friends with any of these people, especially that stiff-looking couple. That man is certainly very handsome, but he would constantly alternate between disjointed and serious ways of talking. His wife is a bit more bearable. We were not acquainted with each other to begin with, and I doubt we'll see each other again after this gathering. The ambiance of this gathering is surprisingly pleasant, however. Talking to people can allow us to find some peace after a long day. Maybe my son will also partake in these gatherings in the future. I hope he'll be able to make many friends.
Who would have thought my mother used to attend that kind of thing? It seems she was only good at talking about her own work, and found it difficult to join into other conversations. As a result, she often kept to herself and would be off to the side, drawing. There's more written on the back. Oh, it seems like it was written to me.
Kaveh. I was both overjoyed and distressed when I learned of your decision to continue your studies in Kasharawa. You are very talented, and I am confident that you will become an architect of much acclaim. However, the more talented you are as an artist, the more misery and anguish you may encounter. No one will be able to help you during your journey as an artist. But outside of your life as a creator, you can learn to form connections with other people and enjoy many other things in life. It's the only way to alleviate your suffering. Whenever you feel down, seek out a friend to sit and have a chat. You can accumulate joy and fulfillment by spending time with them. The positive feelings you gain will get you through the long and difficult years. Never forget that companionship is the most important thing of all.
So that's the answer she prepared for me. She really thought long and hard about me and my future. Well, now that I've read her words, do you think I should accept Tainari's invite and attend that dinner at Pardis Di? The thought definitely crossed my mind. Although it'd be nice to get together with friends and chat the night away, I don't want to bring down other people's moods because I'm sad. Besides, don't most people hate the feeling of seeing their friends troubled and being unable to help? And don't forget, I'm also older than all of them. As their senior, I should appear to be a bit more responsible. You're not wrong, but I keep feeling like I haven't really helped them much in return. Wait, do you mean it? You're not making fun of me, are you? I've gotten so used to sarcasm that I can't tell what's genuinely a compliment anymore. Wait, by fun, did you mean... You know what, I'm not going to overthink it.
That is adorable! No, not adorable, sad, but then... oh crap, I have to do my voice. Yum yum, hello? No, I need to drink water real quick. Holy cow, my voice is horrible. That's a bad password? I mean, it's kind of good because no one think of it. So, technically not bad, you know? It might be simple, but... Oh, the following day, okay. Maybe symbols, but no one have thought of that, you know? So it's quite good, I guess. That for Kaveh, though. Wait, so he's 25 now, and he's older than Anari and everyone? So he said he was 5 years old, which was 20 years ago. Wait, no. He was 5 years old. It was 20 years ago. That means 5 plus 20. Yeah, it's 25. Okay. My brain was twisting with me for a bit. Where is Paris the Oh, over here. Oh, the one we fought with Scaramouche something. Should have been besto friends. Was that one of the anime? I remember. What was it? I saw like those clip of anime, and the one was like besto friendo. I forgot which one was it, but yeah, okay. I mean, companionship is besto friendo. Okay, that actually makes sense. Maybe you could use that as your password. Oh, there you go. Oh, Sino. Hey, what up, you two?
Alhaitham also got my invite, right? Well,
That guy, he's never been a fan of social gatherings.
are you sure? All right then. I guess we won't wait for him.
Yeah, let's go. I mean, maybe we should give him a little more time.
Oh, sure.
You still haven't told me, what's the occasion for getting us together here at Pardistii?
We're celebrating the end of the first phase of Kale's studies. I wanted to thank you all for the help you've given her along the way.
Congratulations, Kale! I know it's supposed to be a Kaveh hangout, but then I'm so happy because Kaveh is one of my, you know.
Then where's Kale?
She said she wanted to show everyone a bit of what she's learned, so she's still doing some last-minute prep at home. Anyway, let's get started. To tell you the truth, I'm actually not so confident that the second phase will go as well as the first. The curriculum will become a lot more involved, and I'm worried that she won't be able to get through all of it.
I knew this wouldn't be just a simple free dinner.
Yes, I thought it would be good if we could all put our heads together about this. Anyway, let's take a quick trip down memory lane. What did you guys do when you ran into a problem that you didn't know how to solve? Or got assigned a project that you knew you weren't gonna finish on time?
Never happened to me.
I'd just pull another all-nighter.
You two are hopeless. Does anyone have a more useful answer to the question?
Ooh, that's a good point. Confidence is the most important thing. Once you lose your sense of confidence, it'll become all but impossible to find the motivation to study.
This could be a potential direction. I have already redesigned the literacy curriculum, and I was originally hoping to ask Alhaitham for his opinion, but...
It's very simple. Instead of focusing on the amount of material you would like to teach, focus on the amount the student would be able to remember.
Wow, you actually showed up. I could probably count the number of times you've actually come to gatherings like this on just one hand.
It's still more than the number of times you've managed to get a proposal approved on the first try.
As long as you're still aware. So, what made the difference this time?
That's your purpose for being here, not mine. Don't project your ways of thinking onto me.
So you're saying the only reason you came is to help Tainari with his brainstorming?
Precisely. Kale will have a long road in front of her.
Hey, just to get one thing clear. Even if Kale manages to make her way to the academia, we cannot let her enroll in Haravatat. Kasharawar is obviously the best choice for her. She's been a trainee forest ranger for so long, she'll definitely be good with her hands.
What are you saying? Spontamad is the better choice. It's where I graduated from, after all.
Then what about Amorta? That's the darshan her master actually graduated from.
There are only 2 other darshans left. We might as well select all of them on her enrollment application.
I'm trying to have a serious discussion here. Traveler, you aren't associated with any of the 6 darshans. In your opinion, which darshan would be the best choice for Kale?
Well said.
Agreed. And my goal in inviting you here was to gather some thoughts on the execution of this second phase.
Phase 2 far exceeds Phase 1 in both curriculum complexity and the speed of instruction. I hope Kale has prepared herself for what is coming.
Hey, what are you thinking now? Please don't tell me you're planning on lending her those abstruse books from your home library.
Actually, I was thinking about lending her a professions guide.
I'll make sure to write, "Don't become an architect." You're right.
Is there another phase after Phase 2? What's the ultimate goal of all of this? Are we trying to prepare her for a job in the academia?
We don't need to think that far ahead.
I'm telling you, that client had no idea what he was talking about.
Have you considered finding another client?
Ah, they're all the same.
It's too late now to change careers. Besides, you'll be getting up in the middle of the night to make edits to your own design even when the client doesn't request it.
No.
Cheer up, Kaveh.
We'll save that for the end, Sino.
Whatever.
Poor guy. Oh. Choose Sino? What? Imagine Gale going to the desert to work all the time. Wait, that's actually a good idea. No, not a good idea, but like an idea to think of. Alright, which one did I pick already? One more, and then the event, and then if we have time, the speedrun the easy quest that start by accident. Oh! Oh, the password. Nom nom nom.
Alhaitham isn't in, so feel free to sit where... Oh, nothing. I just didn't realize how much time had passed. I'm happy for her. Anyway, enough about that. Let's see what I packed into this box. What are all these things? Oh, obviously I wouldn't call it anything special now. Now that criticism and self-doubt have always been a part of the artistic process, I admit that I may have spent a little too long questioning myself this... Anyway, my building blocks! Oh, and this blueprint. I was super proud of myself when I finished it. Unfortunately, it was only a few days later that he finally gathered up the courage to pay my mother a visit. My mother took me with her to personally apologize to the clients. She didn't scold me about it in private, though. Let's see, is there anything else left in this box? This is my mother's notebook. When I was a child, I used... Wonder why she didn't take this notebook with her. If only I could. Hey, it's not a matter of time. Who knows? Maybe this time something will click in my head. I could tell what you were thinking. I've tried my name, my father. I've even tried stuff like love. I wouldn't try that route again. Yeah, you're right. Everyone's life journey is different. I just got an idea, though. If I want to rekindle the creative passion that I had before, instead of trying to unlock an old notebook, why don't I take a walk around the parts of town that had changed my life? What do you think? I'm glad you agree.
Right, let's have a walk. Dum 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 dum. Yoink. The power of teleportation. Great, that did not help at all. Where do I have to go? Wait, what? This is confusing. Where was I supposed to go? Wow. That's a chest?
Adepti treasures have special powers. What about normal ones?
Did it point that way? these stairs. Oh. Boom.
Of all the places in the academia, I remember this one most. Who doesn't miss their time at the academia? I created many designs that I thought were beautiful in the House of Dana. The academia also had a rule that allowed scholars to annotate any physical books they came across. Oh, here, this is a great example. This book, History of Ancient Sumeru Architecture, contains some analysis that I did many years ago. Huh? Why is Alhatham's handwriting also in here? When did he ever read this book? I guess it's probably from when we worked on that research project together. Anyway, he probably never cared to tell you this, but the House of Dana is where Alhatham and I first met. I came here to do my homework, and saw him sitting by himself next to that row of bookshelves. A group of Haravatat scholars were chatting near him, but he looked as if he was too lazy to join them. There was a pretty stark difference between him and all the rest of them. It was my fault for feeling bad for him. I thought he must have gotten into some kind of trouble and went over to ask if he needed anything, not realizing that...
Not realizing that you were in fact the one in a whole heap of trouble?
Alhatham? Why are you here?
The House of Dana is a public space.
But shouldn't you be at the records room at this hour?
You think I would derive amusement from watching you fall into depression over your life's various troubles? I came here to pick up a few files. If your voice hadn't managed to get through my soundproof earpieces, I probably wouldn't have noticed you.
All right. I admit I was probably overreacting just now. Probably not when he's right here with us.
There was nothing embarrassing or shameful about it. When I was still a student at the academia, I once collaborated with Kaveh on a research project. We had a number of differences, and they remain unresolved even today. The more important question is, why are you at the House of Dana?
As a senior scholar, isn't it my responsibility to offer my friend a quick tour and explanation of the academia's architecture?
I see. Then let me guess. Your next stop will be the pavilions around Razan Garden? Oh, and Kaveh. A lot of the books you annotated have been moved to the innermost section of that bookshelf over there.
Huh? But why would you know that?
Sure, if that will give you some self-confidence. Leave any words of thanks you may have to the ex-Grand Conservator. The last time he was here, he was complaining that he had received reports from current students. As a result, the books you annotated have been moved to the back shelves.
What? But all of my annotations were extremely important. Okay, just you wait. I'm going to fix this right now. I'll dig all the books out and return them to the proper shelves.
Oh, we'll wait. Anyway, you were about to say he's feeling a bit down? Put through the ringer. What an interesting phrase. He probably did suffer quite a bit, that's true. He always spends a lot of time editing his proposals, but the satisfaction of one client will not translate to general satisfaction with his work. There are plenty of architects in Sumeru who are inferior to him in skill. Clearly, his predicament is inevitable, since, of course, each person is different, and we should respect the paths that they have chosen for themselves. Admonitions will serve no purpose.
Looks like you were having an enjoyable chat while I was gone.
What do you think?
What else is there to talk about? Anyway, you should take a look at this. Look at this comment on page 82. Dear Kaveh, thank you so much for annotating this book in such detail. It was a great help to me. See that? Now that's how a student should treat their seniors.
And it looks like you're already in a much better mood now.
Me happy?
Why don't you just move all the books yourself? Kaveh had a habit of scribbling and writing in all kinds of books.
Hey! You didn't need to bring that up. Oh, actually, I also found a really old sketch in one of the books over there. See? Doesn't it remind you of something? Huh?
Don't ask me.
You...
We can also plainly see that the designer was a huge fan of this project.
If I don't keep bringing up the neat projects that I've done, how would anyone know that I was the one who did them in the first place? There shouldn't be any complaints about Port Ormos.
There are indeed no records of any complaints about this project.
See? What did I tell you? Come on, let's take a stroll through Port Ormos next.
No need. It's almost time to clock out for the day.
Suit yourself. It's not...
Poor guy. Ganyu got nerfed? Really? Maybe she's already powerful in games, so that's why they nerf her in the TCG as well. No.
Port Ormos. No, I didn't design any one specific building. Port Ormos had already existed since I was still a young child. The arch bridge over there, for example, that was one of my designs. When I was first tasked with the project, I decided to reference the growth patterns of nearby trees to split Port Ormos into 2 levels. We ran into a lot of issues during construction, but residents can now behold all the ships entering and leaving the harbor from the... I was still young and new to the trade back then. The true cornerstone of the creative process. Once built, a building will continue to stand. You think so? I'm glad to hear that. But even with this project, I still had one small regret. My budget was tight. Us creative types know better than anyone that most projects cannot be completed without a few regrets. Yeah, you're right. We've spent long enough here. Great. Most of my projects over the last few years have had something to do with the desert. This is a rare opportunity. So what if you ever feel down? Who would have thought that so many primal constructs could have congregated here while I was gone? We won't be able to sit and talk peacefully with these guys around. Come at me!
Fallen leaves, adorn my night into the wind. Fine.
Isn't this place great? I often come here to clear my mind when I'm... You know what I mean. Just take me as an example. Although Alhaitham thinks that it's because of my personality that I continue to live in the shadow of the past. You could probably say I followed in the path of my mother. Life is too boring when you live with no enthusiasm and passion. Of course, I will concede that loving something also means taking it to heart. But still, isn't this place beautiful? With different landforms come different architectural styles. The sight here has moved me ever since the first time I laid my eyes on it. My pain will one day fade into nothing, just as I reach the end of my life. They are far more valuable than most materialistic things. If you were to ask me what art is, that would be my answer. You think so? Remember that question I brought up before? I still haven't found an answer to that yet. Those who pursue art will be unable to avoid the pain that it naturally brings. I'll try gathering my thoughts again once I've found a way to define art in the first place. In any case...
There we go. Now we just need to do the event quest.